How to get your cat used to car rides. So in this video I want to share with you how to get cats used to car rides. Are you finding that vet visits are a total nightmare? Do you want to stop your cat getting distressed when travelling in the car? Then here's what you need to do. Please note, to keep this as short and snappy as possible, I'll cover the main key points but also link to our blog post with a full guide on how to get cats used to car rides so that you can read it in further detail if you need. So let's start from the top. When it comes to getting a cat used to car rides, this typically comes in two main stages. 1. Getting your cat used to the carrier, and 2. Getting the cat used to the car itself. Now our kitten Cody is fine in carriers, but we usually carry him in what we like to call our kangaroo pouch. We then just pop him straight in the car and he then sits next to us, as you'll shortly see. However, to get a cat used to a carrier, you want to 1. Keep the carrier out so that your cat is used to seeing it and it's part of their everyday environment as opposed to this dreaded thing. 2. Play with your cat in the carrier, both inside and outside it. And 3. You can also put treats inside the carrier or use catnip to encourage them to go in there. This is before you close the carrier up and take them out. You essentially want to build up the positive associations towards the carrier for your cat. This should be enough to get your cat used to the carrier for the purpose that they need, as once they're in it and in the car, their focus is likely to be on the car and the journey. However, some extra tips also include closing the door of the carrier once they're inside and seem comfortable, then leaving them in it for a few minutes and giving them a treat if they remain calm and content. If they don't, let them out, but don't give them a treat. Only reward the behaviour that you want to see when they're in the carrier. You could also do the same as mentioned, but go one step further and pick them up, carrying them around inside the house or out in the garden whilst they're in the carrier, and again, reward them with a treat if they remain cool and calm. Once they're happy with the carrier and they feel safe inside it, it then comes to the second part of getting them used to the car. To do this, you want to, first, get them used to the car before you drive it. To do this, simply get them in the car and allow them to become familiar with it without the engine on. Show them that it's not such a scary place to be. You can even allow them to roam within the car so that there's less unknown spaces within it, and again, removing the fear factor or pure inquisition. Now they're likely to rub their scent on the car to claim it as their personal territory. This is a great sign and it will help them to become more relaxed during car journeys if they feel like it's theirs. Giving them treats and feeding within the car can also help if your cat is still struggling to get used to it. You can also play with their favourite toys in the car because again, it's all about building positive associations with it. With repetition comes familiarity, so this should be done over multiple days or weeks to really build it up. Once you're then happy that your cat is used to the car itself, you can then try turning on the engine whilst they're in the carrier and checking that they still remain calm. If they do, simply sit in the car with them for a few minutes, then take them back into your house and reward them with a treat in there. After doing this a couple of times, you can then start doing small journeys. These can be little routes around the block and back. That way they can see that not every journey is a bad journey, like taking them to the vets or something similar. Use these journeys to see what your cat is happiest with. Do they prefer to see out or prefer to be more hidden? This will determine the position, type and openness of the carrier, or whether you'll do what we do with Cody and allow them to sit on the seat next to you instead. Alongside this, you also want to prepare them for the journey. Always make sure that your cat is happy before putting them in the carrier and then the car. Make sure that they've been awake for at least 20 minutes or so, as if they've just that second woken up, it can be a little bit startling. You also want to encourage them to go to the toilet, putting them in the litter box if you have to, as you do when litter training. And of course, you might like to give them a small snack or meal, depending on the journey ahead. The second tip is to keep it calm in the car. So you don't want loud, heavy rock music playing, for example, unless of course they like that. Instead, play calming music softly in the background and speak soothing words of comfort to your cat, especially if they seem on edge or stressed. This helps to make them feel more comfortable in the car. If they're still struggling, you may also like to use cat calming sprays, as these help to relieve anxiety, making it that little bit easier. Last but not least then, do it little and often. Small journeys, little and often, are the key to getting a cat used to car rides. Make it part of their weekly routine if you need, then gradually increase the distance until you've reached the point where they're totally perfect at travelling in the car with you and it barely even phases them at all. For more tips and tricks, like I said, I'll put the link to our full blog post in the description below. I hope this helps, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Please be sure to like and subscribe to support our channel, and drop any questions you may have in the comments box below.